Hey everybody, Robbie Strazynski here for Card Player Lifestyle, and I have a special pleasure today to interview my dad, Dr. Josef Strazynski. Hi, Dad. How are you?
Hello, how are you, son?
Good. Long time no see. We had a nice home game last night, right?
Correct.
I know I lost. How did you end up?
I did very well, thank God.
Okay, thank God. So you'll treat your kids and grandkids. Excellent. Very good. Well, the reason I'm interviewing my dad today is because, Dad, you were fortunate enough to be selected as a prize package winner by WPT Global in a Twitter giveaway by Amanda Botfeld. So just to give everyone a little bit of a background, Amanda's contest, this was words of her tweet: nominate a family member and tell me why they should win. And I responded, my dad. He taught me too when I was 8 years old because her dad had taught her. I've been playing in a home game with him for 20 years. He's my biggest fan. I'm going to be in Vegas covering the full WPT World Championship Series, and it would be amazing and surreal to report on him if he were to play. And incredibly, she did select you as the lucky winner. So I think it's time to tell the poker world more about you before you go ahead and embrace this prize package to play in a $10,000 main event in Las Vegas. Okay, you ready, Dad? We're ready to go?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay. And this is, I gotta say, it's so funny because obviously I've been speaking with my dad for 41 years, but I've never actually interviewed you. At least I don't think so. And my challenge is to remember, I got to interview like I would anyone else. So we're going to ask some deep and probing questions here. You taught me how to play poker when I,
Excuse me, can I claim the fifth occasionally?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so you taught me how to play poker when I was a little kid. What about you? When did you first learn how to play poker and who taught you?
Well, actually, I was a little mischievous in my young years, and
Mhm.
actually, I have learned how to play poker during my grade school.
Really?
And later in high school, of course, grade school, it was pretending to play, but in high school, I already played. And we used to, unfortunately, don't tell it to your children, we used to skip the classes to play poker. We used to go to the park where nobody could see us to play poker. Of course, the poker which we played at that time was seven card start. That's the only thing we knew. But
Aha.
that's how I learned, and that's how I played, hiding it from the parents, from the teachers, and from any adult, God forbid,
Aha.
they see us. And then from then on, it proceeded, evolved to something bigger. And
Sure.
finally, when I reached a little of a maturity, I started playing it on a regular basis.
So what stakes did you play for as a young kid?
Oh, I will tell you what, probably on the beginning we were playing for candies.
Aha.
And later on was for, I was in Poland, so I was playing for Grushim,
Like pennies, basically.
something like 1/10 of the penny, something like
Aha.
that.
So yeah, that's not an Israeli accent. We're in Israel. It's not an American accent. So you're from Poland.
Yes, I was born in Poland, and I was living in Poland until the age of 20. Yes.
Uh-huh. And then you moved to the States?
Then I moved to Austria.
Uh-huh.
Then I moved to Italy, and then I moved to United States.
Interesting. Why the long journey? They didn't have direct flights from Poland then?
Uh, I wouldn't know because at that time, at the age 20, I didn't know nothing about flights.
Uh-huh.
Basically, I left Poland as a political refugee with the help of HIAS, Hebrew Immigration Assistance Society.
Mhm.
And they were the ones who took care of me once I crossed the border of Poland, helped me to get to Austria, helped me during my stay in Austria, and then they helped in a transport to Italy. And in Italy, when they were able to arrange for me to get a visa to go to the United States. So it's a little evolved. Historically, probably there are other people who can talk about it a lot, but that's basically the story of a lot of immigrants from communist countries at the time.
Right, right. So you were escaping communism, and to the best of my understanding, my recollection, you were already a doctor. You had graduated, you were a doctor in Poland, and then you kind of had to become a doctor all over again when you got to the States.
Yes, in Poland, you are eligible to apply for the medical school upon graduation from the high school. I graduated high school at the age of, well, before I reached age 16. I was fairly good student. I passed my exams and I was accepted to medical school. And unfortunately, when I finally arrived to the United States, the only thing which was accepted from my educational background was my high school diploma. So I had to go to the college and apply again to medical school. Well, I didn't actually go for 4 years to college. I took what's called the CLEP program, college level examination program, where I basically took 2 full-time courses at the university, Georgia State University in Atlanta, and challenged the additional subjects on a pass-fail basis. And after 1 year, I completed the requirements needed for the American medical school.
Right.
I took my MedCat and
MCATs, right?
and was lucky enough to be accepted.
So you must really have wanted to be a doctor. What type of medicine do you practice?
Well, okay. In the United States, I received board certification in the family medicine. All the physicians graduating in the United States graduate with a certificate of the physician and surgeon. I graduated and I took the board exam in a family medicine. And that's what I have been practicing, basically internal medicine, family medicine, until I came to Israel.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, well, I came to Israel. You're talking about how long ago in the United States?
No, when you came to Israel, it was like 20...
I came to Israel in January 1999.
Right, 23, yeah, almost 24 years. Yeah, okay.
Almost, yeah. Okay. So here in Israel, I started working with the field which I thought needed an extra expertise. I basically concentrate on complications of diabetes.
Nice.
In my practice, I work with the patients who are failing in the treatment of diabetes, who develop vascular or dermatological or neurological complications. And I work towards decreasing the chances of amputation,
right,
from those patients.
Right. And you told me you've been pretty successful, like an 80% success rate, right?
Thank God. Thank God. I have been doing it here in Israel since 2005. And throughout the course of my working here, I have approximately 80% success ratio in preventing the amputations from those people.
Thank God. Well, that's what Dad does. He's not just a doctor, he's a damn good one. He got 2 degrees from 2 different countries. And at 74 years old, he's still practicing. Eventually, he'll get it right. Back to the poker part, through all these years you were practicing medicine and being the best dad in the world. As a kid, I remember you had a rotating home game. It was you. I remember Uncle Saul was there. We had a cousin, Stevie Wachtenheim, and a whole bunch of family friends. What I actually don't, there's a lot of these I don't know. It's like a good opportunity to ask. how did that home game first come together? Like, who had the idea? When did it start? And how many years did it go for?
Well, I really cannot recall who came up with an idea. Actually, I think that our group uh, tried to imitate our elders at that time.
Hmm.
There were people one generation ahead of us who were having home games.
Hmm.
And we said, hey, guys, why don't we do something like that ourselves?
Hmm.
And that's how it started. And of course, we had basically a very steady membership in our group, the same guys playing more or less every time, all but one married people. And we rotated, like you said, from home to home on a weekly basis. Our games were always enhanced by sumptuous meal,
Oh my,
which
yeah, I remember that. It's funny when
yes,
you say that. I remember because we used to have it. It was there was like a room above the garage,
above the garage, correct,
and
correct.
I got there, and I always tried to find. I always asked mom, "Can I go out and I don't know, give dad something?" And can I, and it was like always like cold cuts and drinks and cookies, and like it was like a feast. It was
Yes, yes,
unbelievable.
it was basically a very social occasion enhanced by the poker game.
Uh-huh.
And I have to say, even then, our game was never just Texas Hold'em.
Hmm.
We always had variations of games, some of which we made up, some of which we have learned, most of them with wild cards or jokers. We had fun. We had fun. It was great.
Do you remember what stakes you played for back then?
Well, I think that at this stage, I can tell you, I wouldn't tell you that I wouldn't tell you that in Los Angeles, and I'm sure none of the players would have said that because the stakes were between us. Our wives were not aware of the
Uh-huh.
stakes.
Uh-huh.
So basically, our games started as 1-2, and as the evening progressed, was going higher and higher, and the wins and losses could start with $100 and go up multiple times higher. But
Okay.
again, we kept it only within the group. We had a secretary for it.
Uh-huh.
Our secretary was the one and only unmarried guy. Uh, your
Cousin Stevie. Yeah.
cousin,
Yeah.
Stevie Wankenheim. He was the only guy who was unmarried, so he kept the notes
Uh-huh.
showing who lost how much, who won so much, and this way, none of the wise was able to catch up on it.
Good times. So good memories. Good memories.
Correct.
So I also another poker memory I remember from when I was a kid, living in LA, we used to go to Las Vegas 4 to 5 times a year.
Oh, much more, much
Well,
more.
that's when you and mom went, probably
Right.
without me. And my brothers. But I remember like this is also, Vegas in the roaring 90s was much more of a family friendly destination. That's when the Mirage started as the first big mega resort, and they were attracting families. They used to send, this before email, so they used to send like these mailers, these placards, come for the weekend, we'll give you a free
Correct.
room.
Correct.
We usually stayed, there at the Mirage or at Treasure Island. My brothers and I, we played arcade games. Mom played the slots, and you played poker. So, I mean, I honestly didn't know then, and I don't think I really know the full story now. Where did you play? And what did you pull like any all-nighters? What were your stakes then? There also, it probably wasn't Hold'em.
Okay, well, like we mentioned before, it's different when you play within the group of your friends,
Sure.
different when you're going with your wife to the Las Vegas. When you go with your wife, she limits your time at the poker table. So, well, I don't think I ever pulled a all-nighter,
Okay.
but there were occasions that I was coming back to the room around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
One thing which I have learned, in order to be allowed to keep up playing it, I was always a winner. No
Always.
matter, always,
Okay.
no matter what my actual balance was when
Oh.
I came home. I mean, when I came to the room, I always put $100 or $200 on it, bed, saying, "I won a game."
Nice. Good time. So I
Right.
guess you played at the famous Mirage poker room?
I definitely played a lot in Mirage. I played some in Treasure Island. I played in MGM, I remember, at
Hmm.
Caesars.
Nice.
Yes, I played in a lot of places over there. Yeah.
Good times. Do you remember like genuinely like your biggest win ever and like how that felt? Do you remember that?
Yes, actually, that was at the time when Mirage was closing the poker room.
Oh, right. The first time. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, and what they have done, they had like an hourly contest of highest hand wins the jackpot.
Okay.
And in one of these hours, I ended up getting 4 kings.
Okay.
And that got me a jackpot.
Do you remember how much it was for?
I don't recall. I'm sorry. I don't want to make up the numbers. I don't remember how much it was, but it was a very nice
Okay.
surprise and profitable.
Okay. Nice. Very good. Um, okay. Oh, yeah, of course, I got to ask this one. So we lived in Southern California, which, till today, but obviously even way back then, it was a mecca for poker, huge poker rooms like the Bicycle Club, Hollywood Park, Commerce. I didn't know it at the time, but when I got older, you told me that once in a while you used to play at those places. And I believe you also had offices at least near Hollywood Park and Inglewood over there. When exactly did you play, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, being a physician, I was very committed to my practice, which
Uh-huh.
means when I went to my office in Long Beach, I was busy for as long as I needed to be busy. So on
Oh,
my
I see.
way from Long Beach to my office in Los Angeles, sometimes I took a couple or 3 hours break at the bicycle.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that's how it was happening. But
Uh-huh.
on a couple of occasions, I believe I went to play over there with Stevie Wachtenheim as well.
Uh-huh.
So in the evening. So
Right.
yeah, but I did sneak into the bicycle few times in between the offices.
Uh-huh. Okay. And well, obviously
Now
that's
again, now again, I don't want you to show it to your kids. I don't want them to learn.
they'll never see that, at least not till they're 21 years old. Um, and obviously, like those clubs and in Las Vegas, it's not like a home game. So you're not playing wild cards and stuff like that. So there was strictly stud, or were there other games you also played?
No, in the casinos, I at that time in bicycles only Texas Hold'em.
Oh, Texas
That's
Hold'em already. Wow. Okay.
only Texas Hold'em. That's the only game I played at a bicycle.
Mhm.
Uh, Later in Las Vegas, I played Omaha High Low,
Mhm.
all them 7 Car Stud at that
Mhm.
time was also available. So yeah, I played more of a variety games.
Right.
At bicycle only Texas Hold'em.
Right. Well, longtime fans of mine of Card Player Lifestyle know that I'm a huge fan of the mixed games, and now you see where I get it from. Um, what do you love about poker so much?
I'll tell you what, it was a couple of things. First of all, I am a competitor. Okay, so game which requires certain skills, which requires thinking, is always a challenge to me. So playing poker is a competition, and that's what attracted me. On also is a relaxation for me. It's a kind of letting go of the everyday things which you have to deal with the sick people, with the administrative problems in a office or
Bratty kids at
people.
home. Yeah, sure.
So those are the two things which are really the most important.
Mm.
Even right now nowadays, It's not a question. I mean, we have a steady group of people who are playing in our home game. It's not a question of going and winning the money. It's a question of having a great time together, of talking with people, laughing with people, kibitzing together. That's what I love about poker.
So you'd say that you've developed a lot of good friendships over the years thanks to the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And
with occasional bad apple thrown in. When you have sometimes people you invite to your game and you think this is another one of future permanent member of our group, and then they end up skipping on the debts or cheating in a game, and you have to say goodbye to them. So,
sure.
But in general, we have a very homogeneous group. We get along, we have fun, and that's what it's all about.
Good stuff. So when poker boomed, in the moneymaker years and the World Poker Tour started, 20 years ago as well, it's all over TV. The game that boomed the most, obviously, is Texas Hold'em. And you said, already at the bicycle, that's what you were playing over there. Right. And yet you retained that love for mixed games. Why?
Because it's challenging. You see, when you're playing one and the same game, Texas Hold'em, all the time, it becomes monotonous. It becomes somehow a routine. It loses the fun. When you play, like we play in our home game, every hand dealt is a different kind of game.
Right.
You have to constantly readjust, switch, adjust, and that's what I love about it. That's what I love about it.
So I would honestly give exactly the same answer, and I do when people ask me that question. But there's a little asterisk, again, obviously this is an interview because you want a seat in the 10K main event. You're going to be playing in a tournament. And the thing is, with all of your years of play, as much poker as you've played, you really haven't played tournaments at all. And this tournament is a Texas Hold'em tournament. So sure, it's the same game, but there is the excitement and all of the ingredients and factors of a tournament thrown in and single elimination until there's one player left standing. How do you feel about that going into the tournament?
Well, let me first tell you that being told that I won a seat at the tournament was a shock. It was absolute shock, and it was such a big moment for me. I will never probably relive similar thing again. And yes, I'm going to this tournament basically as a greenhorn. I'm going as a complete novice. I have never really played in a tournament. So I have to relearn. I started by practicing the things which I see on television from my favorite players. In other words, what I do now, I try to get a pose of Phil Hellmuth. I try to be Daniel Negreanu. I try to be Phil Luck. That's the beginning of it.
Okay.
But I was fortunate enough to have a son who knows a lot about poker.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start picking your brain any day now to pick up the things important to learn. I will also, hopefully soon, have an hour session courtesy of Jonathan Little from pokercoaching.com.
Yep.
Who graciously agreed to give me an hour of coaching to prepare me for the task of playing in a tournament.
Oh, he's a top-notch guy, and he also graciously gave me this patch, this pokercoaching.com patch.
I promise you, I'm going to wear it when I am in Vegas.
You got it. Okay. Very cool.
And in meantime, I am watching my tournaments on television whenever I have a chance, and hoping for the best.
obviously having love for the game and playing the game is one thing, but you're clearly a big fan. You watch a lot of poker on the streams and on TV. When do you think that started, your fandom of poker?
Oh my. I think that it started in my youth, in my high school, when I was hiding from others, another challenge, hide from the adults and play the poker.
Uh-huh.
So it started very early, and once I got hooked on it, it never left me.
Interesting. Okay.
And of course, years in Los Angeles with our weekly game, with the fun which we have had over there, with the socialization with the people and everything, that just enhanced it, and that's what made it permanent in my life. And I was lucky enough that I had been married to your mom, who understood and who loved me playing poker, and I'm now married to Judy, who also understands my liking of poker and has no problems with me going and playing. So I was lucky enough in that respect.
I'm lucky in the same way with Miriam, as you know, too. In what ways, if at all, would you say that practicing medicine is like playing poker?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have always told my students when I was teaching, and when I had students or interns coming to my office, I always told them that practice of medicine is like a work of a detective. You have to get the clues, put it all together, and come up with an answer. And I think that all the doctors will agree that this is essentially what it is. You have to have knowledge how to do it, and you do it. Poker, in many ways, is the same way. You're learning, the more you play, the more kinds of hands you see, the more combinations you see, the more you learn. And then this experience is being used in your mind to put together the facts and come up with the conclusions. Not always correct conclusions,
Right.
but at the same time, that's how you play.
I like it. Well, good. That's a pretty good answer. I like that. So we said that, you haven't really played tournaments and you've played all these cash games. I'm kind of wondering why. Like, why have you always stuck to cash games instead of tournaments and never really given the tournaments a shot?
Well, I'll tell you what, just to be completely honest, I just remember that last time we were in Vegas together, which was what, about 5 months ago, 6 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
I did enter one mini tournament of 8 people.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, 8 people table.
Okay.
I think I finished 4th out of money.
Okay.
But that was the one time. Why I never played? Okay, when you enter a big tournament, you have to wait for a complete final outcome for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There is no instant gratification to it.
Mm-hmm.
In cash games, you see your money coming or going immediately, instantly. So, the element of excitement and all the emotions is right away evident. In tournament, again, it's a question of me liking the mixed games rather than one and the same kind all the time.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't on that eager to join. Yes, I dreamt of it. I wanted to do it, but at the same time, I don't know if I had enough of the Sitzfleisch, we call in Yiddish.
The ability to sit in a chair
sit
for that
for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Of course, now when this actually is going to happen, believe me, I will find my Sitzfleisch. I will sit, God willing, for a long time.
So for a man who's been seeing patients for upwards of 50 years, you got to find those patients and and use them at the poker table. We'll do 3 more questions, and then I'm sure you have patients waiting for you at your office. Thanks for taking your lunch break to speak with me today. Have you, given, again, your poker experience, but relative lack of tournament experience. Have you decided to set any sort of goal for yourself for this tournament? I mean, it is a free roll, so I don't imagine, okay, you imagine yourself the next Mike Sexton Cup winner, but do you have any particular goal?
Believe me, I will be very happy if I can get through day one.
Okay.
And be able to play in day two. Everything else is a bonus.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Well, I hope to be covering your day two play as well as your day one play as well. Have that famous found a bag. Everyone's always looking for bags at the end of the day. Hopefully you find a bag. We've got one question. Actually, Amanda, who awarded you from WPT Global, who awarded you the prize package, she had a question she passed on to me for you. If you manage to make it into the money, have you thought about what you might do with your winnings?
I'll tell you the truth, as optimistic as I am, I did not think that far ahead.
Okay.
But I am sure there will be opportunities for me to spend this money quite fast.
Okay.
I do have children and grandchildren whom I would love to indulge with few things.
Good answer.
And of course, I have my wife who is very indulgent with me playing. I would like to reward her in some way while she is sitting in Israel and me going on the trip to Las Vegas and enjoying myself playing poker. So there will be a few things, yes.
I have to say that's pretty much exactly the answer I expected, and I'm glad that you said it. Sounds good.
You know me well.
I do. Last question for you, Dad. Besides playing the tournament, you're going to have some free time while you're in Las Vegas. Have you, before the tournament, after, at the end of the day, if you bust out, you'll have free time as well. Have you given any thought as to how you're going to spend that time?
Well, I definitely made myself a short list of things I want to buy, which are not available here in Israel. And other than that, I will use that time to play poker.
Oh, nice.
I am going to find myself a table, maybe Omaha High-Low, maybe mixed game if there are over there.
Okay.
And if nothing else, play some Texas Hold'em.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. All right. Before we let you go, anything else you'd like to tell all the fans here at Card Player Lifestyle?
Well, first of all, before I talk to my fans, I want to once again thank Amanda at WPT Global for this great opportunity she has granted me by awarding me this ticket to the tournament. I want to thank you for nominating me. I want to thank Jonathan Little for giving me his time in teaching me. I want to thank in advance for anyone for keeping their fingers crossed for me. And I hope I will be talking with you from a winner's circle after the tournament.
That would be something. And I appreciate in advance that I get the first interview if that's the case. So thank you.
You got it.
Dad, thank you very much. That's Dr. Josef Strazynski, folks. I hope you enjoyed listening and hearing his story as much as I did asking him about it. Guys, if you'll be in Las Vegas during the WPT World Championships, now that you know so much more about my dad, please come root on Dr. Joe, say hi, grab yourself a free Card Player Lifestyle patch. I'm Robbie Strazynski. You can follow me on Twitter at Card Player Life. I believe, Dad, you're also on Twitter. It's at Strazynski Joseph, right?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, thank you all for being fans of Card Player Lifestyle. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.